Hello, everyone. Happy New Year and happy Saturday. This is one of the most historical and exciting day or moment of my life, probably yours as well. The world just witnessed one of the most dramatic geopolitical moves in years, right? And U.S. forces captured the Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife after airstrikes in Caracas. We are breaking it down step by step. Timeline, China's fury, how Venezuelans are reaching on the streets, and what Chinese netizens are saying online. Buckle up, this is massive, and I am so excited. As you can see, drop your thoughts in chat. Let's go. The first part, let's break down the timeline. Okay, first, the sequence of the events, everything happened lightning speed. Remember back on October the 28th of 2025, Stephen Bannon on War Room drops the bomb. Of the 1 million barrels of oil Venezuela pumps daily, 916,000 go straight to China, communist China. And this just highlights how dependent Maduro's regime is on Beijing for survival and amid US sanctions. And then on January the 2nd, 2026, which is yesterday, Maduro hosted a high level Chinese delegation at Miraflores Palace in Caracas, led by Xi Jinping's special envoy Qiu Xiaoqi plus Ambassador Liang Hu and top foreign minister officials. They review 600 plus agreements on energy, trade, and politics. And Maduro thanks brother Xi, of course, for support. Chinese team reportedly still in Caracas as events unfold. Let's take a moment to recall some time ago, Maduro was showcasing a wonderful one and only the greatest gift Xi Jinping gave him. Let's take a look at that short video clip, please.
Impresionante.
Impressive. I found out everything through this, the phone that Xi Jinping gave me.
Xi Jinping, esto me lo regaló Xi Jinping.
Look, Xi Jinping gave me this.
Un Huawei,
A Huawei, the best phone in the world, the Huawei, and the Americans can't hack it.
el mejor teléfono del mundo.
Neither their spy planes nor their satellites.
Y no te lo pueden intervenir los gringos.
They were jumping for joy when President Nicolas Maduro was last in China 4 months ago. But today, the leadership here is not excited about the prospect of Venezuela without him at the helm. China is Venezuela's biggest creditor, has invested heavily in its oil industry, and regards President Maduro as its strongest ally in South America.
China has lent more.
Maduro said this is a Huawei cell phone. It cannot be hacked by the US. All right, I was really curious if Maduro was using that phone calling for help from Xi Jinping while he was captured alive last night. Oh well, let's get back to the timeline. So then on January 3rd of 2026, early morning, that is 2 a.m. local time, massive US airstrikes hit Caracas, Filterciana military base, and La Carato air base. Then you see explosions, fires, blackouts. As President Trump described it, they use a technology. They have uh, they managed to black out the whole city for roughly about 30 minutes. And then Delta Force ground Op captures Maduro and wife at their home. And President Trump announces on Truth Social large-scale strikes successful and Maduro captured and flown out of the country. He's probably on the way or already in New York on narcotic terrorism charges. Then hours later, Trump presser at Mar-a-Lago, AG Pam Boundy blast them as traffickers. Venezuela declares emergency, and VP Delcy demands proof of life. Of course, then later on, you see President Trump unleashed a photo of Maduro captured alive on the aircraft carrier. And this timing, pure symbolism, right? The China meets Maduro, and then the U.S. strikes hours later. And the message to Xi Jinping, the Grand Emperor, is loud and clear. And guess what? What's the Communist China's official responses? Of course, Beijing is not happy. China's foreign ministry issued a strong statement such as China is deeply shocked and strongly condemns the blatant use of force by the US against a sovereign country and its president. They call it a violation of international law, the UN Charter, and demand the US stop hegemonic acts threatening peace in Latin America. No mention of military help for Venezuela yet. Classic China, isn't? Loud diplomacy, but cautious action. The delegation's presence right before the strike makes this extra embarrassing for Beijing, or to be exact, Xi Jinping. Isn't that? And from the other hand, you see the response from Venezuelan people, right? On the ground in Venezuela, reactions are deeply split, as expected after years of crisis. The Maduro loyalists rallies in Caracas, Paloma, and other states, people waving flags, holding photos of Maduro, crying, embracing, calling it imperialist aggression and terrorism of state. Armed civilian patrols reported in some areas. Defense Minister Padrino vows resistance. We will not surrender. Sound like exact like the CCP, right? But opposition and many other ordinary citizens, they are celebrate positive change after years of economic collapse, shortages, and repression. And opposition leader Maria Corina calls for an opposition-led transition, and others fear worse chaos. Maduro's capture creates an even worse conflict. That's what they say, eh? But the streets, what you can see in Caracas, you can see fear, hope, anger colliding, power vacuum possible. No, it's not. And actually, President Trump says, U.S. will run the country until safe transition. wild times ahead. But overall, it's great for the slaves that people have been suppressed by the dictator for years, right? But at the same time, you see the tyranny always, even his loyalists act as even more crazy and atrocities happening on the streets of Venezuela. Let's take a quick look at that, please.
Sí, sí. De hecho, esa cúpula que lleva arriba, mira, ahí vemos esa imagen que se repite. Lamentándolo mucho. Que se repite. Sí. Esto no es la primera vez que sucede.
Come on. All right. That looks like they used the tank to suppress the people on the streets. Exactly like the Tiananmen, what happened in Tiananmen Square, 1989, which I was part of that. Now, what the reactions of the Chinese grassroots or netizens reaction? Well, it's kind of mixed as well, right? There's always some patriotic, which was brainwashed by the CCP, and they were angered. They were angered. The angers of them saying U.S. bullying sovereign nations, annex Taiwan, or Trump shows no restraint, dangerous precedent. And there's also shock and memes, many joking about the timing. A Chinese envoy just left and boom, Maduro gone. Some call it humiliating for Beijing. Paper tiger again? Yeah, that's probably true. There's also some pragmatic takes, right? Venezuela owes China actually 50 to 60 billion. Actually, that's an understatement. It's actually between 660 billion to 100 billion in loans. And they were only worried about the oil deals. And also, but they were laughing that Maduro tried to run to safe room but couldn't lock the door. Details from Trump himself. So overall, the vibe is kind of a mix of anti-US sentiment, which is expected, considering the decades of domestic and overseas propaganda brainwashed by the CCP. And they will worry about the China's allies getting hit one by one. But the majority of the netizens are celebrating the liberation of Venezuela people and also the people, the rest of the world in the country that run by dictators. That, of course, including China. So we are celebrating. I am celebrating. You can see, as someone who came from the communist China, the tyrannical a dictatorship ruled country. I fled more than 20 years ago, and the trauma of the 1989 Tiananmen Square still exists. It still hurt my life every day. Okay, so I am celebrating, and I am really looking forward the end of the Chinese Communist Party, the collapse of the tyrannical Xi Jinping regime. All right, this is still developing fast. Okay, and President Trump sending a message to the world, including Communist China Xi Jinping. Maduro is in U.S. custody. Venezuela in turmoil. What do you think? Is this regime change downright or a dangerous precedent? Drop reactions, questions. I'll ping top ones. Stay tuned. Follow for updates. Thanks for joining me. Like, repost, and share. Peace out for now. So you can also we are, so who's next, right? Russian, Iran? Comment below. We have a lot. This is a historical moment. Let's engage. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.